Hi, this is Chef Dad. I'm back with the Weekly Outdoor Plus, and I'm trying to show you another recipe for fresh walleye. This is blackening. The blackening, once again, and that's kind of the premise behind the recipes I'm showing you. These are things that can be done in your home or outdoors on your grill or even on an open fire. Blackening literally is a process of caramelizing sugars. It doesn't have really anything to do with the spices, even though we all familiarize it with Cajun or Creole cooking and we familiarize it with something being spicy or hot. It doesn't need to be that. It really is the caramelization of butter on the outside of a protein. We're going to take some clarified butter and we're going to take our fillet of walleye and we're going to coat it with clarified butter. Clarified butter means you've melted it and taken some of the milk fat out of the butter. That white foam that you see there is skimmed off the top. Not essential you take the milk fat off. You can just use regular melted butter, that's fine. Then we're going to take that fillet and we're going to season it with what we make at Michelle's is a Cajun blend of herbs. So it has some cayenne, it has some white pepper, it has dry herbs, it has garlic, it has onion, it has kosher salt. And we're going to literally coat it with the seasoning. When you make your Cajun, if you did a spice blend like this, do know that you want to really be careful with the salt because obviously this is a lot of spice on this fillet. Now the butter is still melted on it. That's good. You don't want it to get solid. You want to keep it warm enough so it stays melted and covering the fillet. On the stovetop here, which we're using a grill, you could use this type of grill or just a regular residential grill like this. You could use a Weber, but you take your cast iron skillet and you want it to get literally white hot. High as you can make that grill go, that's the temperature you want this to be. I've also used a turkey cooker outside, a little propane cooker. That works well. I've even done it on an open fire. The skillet is ready to go. It's very, very hot. What happens with blackening, when this touches that pan, I'm going to do it skin side up. And the reason behind that you'll see in a while is because when I flip it, I want to be able to take it out of the skillet and present it like I started it with, the skin side down. So the skin side is going to be up when I cook it. And I'm going to start, when I put the fillet in the pan, I'm going to always start from the front of the pan to the back so the grease doesn't splatter on me. Now, we got a lot of wind here today, but trust me, if there weren't wind, there would be a billow of white smoke coming off of this grill. So we're going to let that set up. The hot heat is caramelizing the butter on the outside of the fillet. I'm going to let it sit like this for maybe a minute, maybe two. Then I'm going to take a long-handled spatula and I'm going to get under that, making sure I scrape the bottom of the pan because we want that crust to be on the fillet, that wonderful seasoning and butter. And that's the reason I want to get under it, scrape that pan so it stays on the fillet. Then I'm going to flip it over so we get a nice presentation. And then when we flip it, we'll cook that other side for about 2 or 3 minutes as well. And that's it. We don't have to finish it. It'll cook very fast because we have such a hot skillet. As you can see, our fillet is ready for flipping. I scraped that pan. I got underneath it nicely, and I'm going to do a quick flip. I don't know if, Scotty, you're able to zoom in on this or not, but you can see that we've got a nice crust on the outside of the fish. That's the key to good blackening, right? You're going to caramelize everything, form a nice stiff crust on the outside of that protein. Steak, seafood, poultry, all of them can be blackened. And we only need a couple minutes on this side and then we'll be plating it. Okay, with the blackened walleye today, I'm going to be serving it with just because it's the time of year, we have corn is in season right now. I have some fresh sweet corn. I'm going to show everyone a little trick for prepping sweet corn that doesn't oblige you to all that cleaning and the silking. I'm going to take this cob of corn, excuse me, I'm going to wrap it in some paper towel like this. I'm going to take the paper towel and I'm going to wet it with some just tap water. It can be cool water, that's fine. Just enough to, while I'm wetting it, I'll spin the paper towel so I'm like creating a wrap on it. So I have a wrapped cob of corn. I'm going to take this that's wet, damped with water, take it in a conventional microwave, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook it for 1 to 2 minutes. So time entry, we'll go 130 and start. So cob of corn wrapped in paper towel, dampened with water, not cleaned at all. We're going to let it sit in the microwave. Pulled this out of the microwave. It was steamed literally in a wet paper towel. I'm going to grab a towel for me to not, because it gets a little hot. I'm going to use it for my plant hand here. Drive the knife all the way through. I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to squeeze. And look at that. We have an ear of corn that doesn't have any silk on it, and it's fully cooked. Bon appetit. The seasoning we're going to use for our corn on the cob today, we're going to take that corn that we pre-steamed in the microwave, and we're going to finish it on the grill. We're going to crisp up the outside with some really neat, I would assess them to be Mexican spices and a Mexican flavor to it. We're going to take fresh lime juice. We have our 2 ear of corn here, 2 cobs. We're going to squeeze fresh lime juice on the cobs. I'll use 2 chunks, 1 per cob. Then I have some kosher salt. And then we're going to use, it's a medley of Himalayan sea salt and Aleppo pepper. You could, however, use straight Aleppo pepper or straight cayenne pepper. Cayenne is probably some more practical for you and something you can find in the stores more readily. The last ingredient I will add to that is butter. Melted butter. I'm going to take these cobs of corn that I've rolled in the salt, the cayenne or Aleppo pepper, dried, and lime juice, and I'm going to finish these on the grill. Lime juice, Aleppo pepper, kosher salt, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it right on the hot grill. We'll watch it for a little bit. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 minutes. All we're trying to do is to crust on the seasonings, caramelize some of the butters so that we have a nice presentation and a nice bite to it. Oftentimes with chefing, I'm a firm believer that we should use sweet to contrast heat. I'm a harvester of animals and plants in nature, and one of the things I harvest is an elderberry, and I make juices and sauces out of it.
Chef, what is elderberry?
An elderberry grows in the state of Wisconsin. It's a plant you find typically in wet areas, and it produces a little berry, and there's lots of them on the ends of stems, and for years people have used that berry to make wines and juices, and sometimes it's right in your backyard. So in the fall of the year, I'll wait till they ripen and I'll pick them before the birds get them, or the bugs, and what we'll do with those elderberries is we'll put the whole branch inside our freezer. And then once they sit up in the freezer, we'll take it and we'll shake the branch, and all those little bitty berries are the size of a pea will fall off into a bowl, and then we do all of our other cooking methods. So it's a berry we find in the state of Wisconsin, maybe right in your backyard. So I'm taking that elderberry jelly in this case, and I'm warming it up on the stovetop. I'm going to back it off with a little bit of white wine. Use a French whip to work it into the white wine. This jelly, when we prepped it, we used pectin, so the pectin is what makes it hold together. Now we're trying to do just the opposite. We're going to bring it up to a high enough heat where we can dissolve the pectin again, get it to go into a sauce. Once I get it into a liquid, I'm going to add a little bit of arrowroot to thicken it with, and that'll be poured over the blackened walleye fillet. Plate up our blackened walleye with elderberry drizzle. I have our fillet that's been blackened. I'm going to take that off of the plate that we held it on. A little bit of greens to make the plate colorful. I'm going to take our cob of corn, which we've crusted on the grill. And then last but not least, I'm going to take our elderberry drizzle, which we had just made. I'll put a little bit of elderberry drizzle right over the fillet. If we wanted to garnish, I think you remembered I used lime. I always garnish with something ingredient that I used in the cooking of the dish. And there you have it, blackened walleye with elderberry drizzle and grilled sweet corn. Bon appetit.